This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together Short Bite Edition. We're going to be continuing our series on those first games for early learners. Those, that first game you pull off the shelf that you start playing with your 2.5-year-old. And today we have another great game called Feed the Kitty, and this is by Gamewright.
Of course.
They're
all by Gamewright.
We'll start over. Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together, Gamewright Edition.
I think that their games just have such great appeal that we keep bringing them up. We do not have a paid promotion with Gamewright, but Gamewright, if you're listening, we'd love to talk.
Yes, we'd love to talk.
Because we love your stuff. We'd love to be playtesters or...
Oh, yeah, playtesters. Yeah.
Playtesters, that's all I want in my life.
I think what we've talked about before with some of these games from Gamewright and some of these other games from other manufacturers that are simple, like Hava and all that type of stuff.
Peaceable Kingdom.
Peaceable Kingdom is another good example of that. They have a very simple dynamic. The games are very contained. They're very small. The strategy is very simple
and not complex.
Not
don't
complex
have long
at all.
rule sets.
And I think they found their that little engine, that little niche, and I think they just crank out these games that have these very simple dynamics. And so Feed the Kitty, if a lot of you gamers out there, you may know RLC.
Yep.
Yeah, right, left, center.
Or is it CLR?
CLR. Is it CLR? Yeah, center, left, right. Okay.
Or LCR?
I
don't know.
LCR.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't remember. Anyway,
the three-letter acronym.
It's the game where you roll a dice and you're either going to pass your chips to the left, right, or put them in the center, and the last person with chips wins. And it's just a really simple little dice game. This is based on the same concept.
Basically the same mechanic.
Where you have a bowl in the middle that is the kitty's food bowl, and you have mice, and each player starts out with a number of mice. You roll 2 dice, and each of those dice tell you what to do with 2 mice. Either the cat's asleep, in which case nothing happens to your mice,
we call that snooze. And if you're lucky, you get double snooze.
Double snooze.
Snooze, you lose.
Either the cat's asleep, so you don't have to feed it, or you get a left arrow or a right arrow, meaning you have to pass one mouse to the left or right player, or you get a food bowl, which means you have to put a mouse into the bowl, or you get a mouse, meaning you get to take one out of the food bowl, and you literally go around and you play until one person is the last person with mice.
Yep.
And this is the whole game. It's so simple. Of course, the mice are nice little wooden
meeple mice.
Yeah, they're little wooden mice characters, and got nice chunky dice. And you were playing this. Well, actually, we had not thought about doing a short bite on this, but you were playing this with our 22-month-old yesterday, and went, gosh, we need to cover this game because it's so simple. We don't think about it. She loved the concept. There's no reading involved. She understood when the bowl was there, you'd say, okay, let's feed the kitty, and she'd pick up a mouse and put it in the bowl. And
with 22-month-old, it can go pear-shaped very fast.
It wasn't a long game.
It wasn't a very long game.
but
she enjoys rolling dice. And she'll like roll dice, and so she can roll dice and everything. And she likes to put the mice into the bucket and then take buckets out. And so we're starting to get into that, like, okay, you roll the dice, and then Daddy tells you what to do. And then you maybe do it or maybe don't. We're right on the cusp with her being able to play this type of game. So I keep testing the waters with these type of games. A lot of us game schoolers, we're so desperate to finally, get the toddler out of the room and get the gamer into the house. And I'm testing these games. And so it's kind of funny that we're going through all these games that we know we played with our older daughter at, 2.5, 3 years old, as those kind of first games. And I'm like, greedily like pulling these games out and saying, okay, is she ready? No, she's not ready. That mouse just flew across the room.
Right.
But I'm testing it. And again, it goes back to my original concept that I like games as manipulatives. Very simple. She's starting to count 1, 2, 3. Now she doesn't know that 1, 2, 3. She just goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you're able to, count the mice. You're able to say left, right. Obviously she doesn't know what those
but
terms.
She's rolling dice. She's interpreting what's on the dice, or you're helping her to learn to interpret. So the art of rolling, taking turns, interpreting what's on dice, choosing, seeing what's on the die and doing something about it, right? Connecting that to an action she has to take, or all of those pieces are just great. These early games, in my mind, they're about game skill building. They're not as much about skills for, math and things, although there are pieces of that. I look at them more as let's build the skills so that you can then play when you're a little older.
Yeah.
You can play games that are really going to enhance your studies.
Starting to test the patience. Like, she's got kind of that, squirrel mentality. She flies between one thing and the next, and you always want to test these things and see, like, okay, does she have a 1 minute ability to sit there and play with you yet? And for me right now, I'm not there yet. I might maybe.
She's close. I love that every time that you drop our daughter off at preschool, she goes to a couple hours, a couple days a week. And on those days, when you come home, I'm here in the office working, and I can hear she comes in the door, and the first thing she says is, "Daddy, game. Daddy, game.
Games."
Right.
She runs over to the wall of kids' games, and she starts pointing at things. Like, we played this today. We played if you all remember, the classic fishing game where they go around in a circle and they open their mouths and you got to put the fishing bowl in. So we played that. She was really into that. She was not very good at it.
I remember the first time we played that with our older daughter. We got it. I think we thrifted it or something, and we started playing it. And she was having so many trouble. Right? She's going all over the board, but Mommy the engineer is like,
I found the point where it opens the mouth. So I'm just
the
fishing
mechanic.
in one spot.
Stay in one spot and wait. Because
she's chasing him around, and I'm just fish.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely adds to the frustration level.
I think so. I didn't realize. I mean, as a child, I felt like it was so random. As an adult, I'm looking at how the mechanics work. I'm like, oh, that's what pops it open. Oh, that's how it works. Okay.
Yeah, so. But back to the Feed the Kitty. they today she's really getting interested in the things that her sister likes to do, and playing games is a good example of that. We were also doing puzzles today, rudimentary puzzles. We're doing obviously the Build Your Library, Torchlight Around the World, kindergarten combo mega curriculum. You go message Ariel for all the special secret stuff on there, and we have an earlier podcast on what we're doing. But she's starting to do rudimentary puzzles, so I'm able to give her 2 puzzle pieces that are, put this together right here, and then she does it.
Right, we have some really easy
nice
world puzzles
and stuff. Yeah. And so her sister was really good at puzzles. She's really good at puzzles. 100-piece puzzle is nothing for her, and I'm starting to see that kind of blossoming within her younger sister. So it's starting to get to that point where, y'all, if y'all got one of those 1-year-olds in the room, I feel your pain. But today I was actually able to do reading and math lessons while the younger one played in the bonus room today, and it wasn't chaos, and it was really good. So I think I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel on the toddler stuff, and I'm starting to have more of a kid, a little kid, and that I can do more stuff with.
Yeah, well, she's starting to take these games too. I mean, with supervision, obviously, honestly, she'll sit and play with the pieces of these games. Yeah, exactly. One of the things I love about this game is that the mice are wooden. Oh, yeah. The dice are chunky.
Now, they're a little small, so you do want to be aware if you have a toddler that is likes to put stuff in her mouth. Ours does not like. Our first one, my God, it was Danger City. Maybe we'll have a short bite after dark edition of Mount Kala, and we'll tell you the Mount Kala horror story. But for her, she doesn't put as much stuff in her mouth, so it doesn't seem as dangerous.
Yeah, I like that it's not cards.
Small. They are kind of small, though.
They're small. No, I'm not saying there's not a choking hazard. No, you gotta observe.
It's not like a set it and forget.
No, not at all. But I do like that they aren't cards, because she'll just sit there and put them into the food bowl for the kitty
and then take them out.
And take them out and just enjoy sitting there while you sit next to her. Mm-hmm. And she's enjoying kind of just being tactile with the game pieces. That's what she wants mostly, right?
She's also into like the cleanup mode. She's okay, clean up, and she puts it away, or she puts everything in the box, closes the box, and you think, okay, we're done. And then I go, okay, you all done? She goes, oh no, Dad.
Right, she wants to open it. She's really into playing with game pieces. So I like all these games that have wooden pieces, so that the game is not destroyed in her experimenting and exploring with what it means to play with games.
And I think, I don't think this game is very expensive. You can probably get it for sub $15.
Oh yeah, I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think it's very expensive at all.
Yeah, it's very cheap, and you just understand the principle. You can look up the game rules online. You could get a bowl and some, dice or something like that. You could play a very similar game.
Yeah, I'm certain that you probably could.
I think if you have a couple throw dice, you can actually kind of mimic the right, left, center game. So Ariel's done a little bit of side research here while I was talking extensively about my love for Feed the Kitty, and it turns out that the game is out of print from Gamewright. So there are copies on eBay. I think you might be able to find some used copies at your thrift store. But if you are interested in the game, I'm pretty certain you can go look up the rules, and you can probably hack together a very similar game using like a bowl and maybe some dice and some, meeples that you pull from, Carcassonne or something like that.
Yeah, I think you could use. They've got the.
And you can also just look at the RLC, the RLC dynamic.
LCR, CLR, whatever it is.
Right,
I think CLR
left,
is
center.
calcium lime rust, isn't it? That thing that like gets off?
Cleans game pieces and your tile.
Now I'm gonna have to look this up.
This is not because this is rapidly going from a short bite to a long bite.
It is LCR. Is LCR. Left, center,
right.
right.
Left, center,
so
right.
yeah, that would work. Definitely if you go to like Dollar Tree, they have big dice that have whiteboard spaces on all sides.
We have some.
You could draw something and make a version of this game. Certainly look up the rules
if
online.
Gamewright's listening, you gotta put this thing
to
back
feed
in print.
the kitty. Oh yeah, I'd love it if it was back in print.
You know what?
Because it is really good. But
I just listened to a really great podcast series on Planet Money about buying a superhero. I wonder if Feed the Kitty is now in the public domain. Homeschool together, feed the kitty.
Know.
No.
Then that concludes the short bite where we recommend a game that's out of print. Sorry, y'all.
But have fun. Enjoy.
Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
happy homeschooling!